Hey everyone, it's Jesse. This is the 2013 Subaru Crosstrek that I've been working on. I've got it mocked up right now with the rear bumper on it. This pan is welded, semi-built welded in. It's got a few welds right here. And this is what I've been working on. This is Rex to Rides, and let's get moving. Okay, so I need to actually pull this bumper back off, and I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, I guess so. I gotta remove that. Okay, best and smartest thing ever. Make sure you keep all your bolts in a labeled bag. This one says rear bumper on it, so that way you know where the bolts went to. Sometimes you'll wind up with different size bolts for different scenarios, such as like maybe the transmission. The transmission has different mounting areas which give you different size bolts, and so you want to make sure that each one is marked so you know exactly where it went to. So whether you use stickers or paint or paint pens, different color paint pens, or even Sharpies, just make sure you know exactly where they went. But mark the hole, then mark the bolt. Definitely helps when you put things back together. I've been a victim of my own circumstance from not doing that. Chamois towels. Because I don't have the weather seal in right now on the top, it's all leaking down in, and some of the tubes are they're still dripping water inside. The whole works. Also, I don't have a gutter on my house, and it's right underneath where that gutter would lay, so dripping right on the back end of the car. If you guys want to help me when we get a shop, that'd be awesome, because I could do a lot more often. So make sure you like and subscribe. It's definitely going to help me get where I need to go, do some better, or do some more projects. And yeah, definitely get me there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to drill out little holes so we can weld everything back in. And so this is going to be, all become one piece again. So we're going to clamp, we're going to drill, things like that. I'm going to put some backing behind here when I drill, so that way I don't drill through the second piece. And we have a connector there. Awesome. I'm going to leave that towel right there just in case. And also, when you're welding, always make sure that you keep a little bit of water around just in case you light anything on fire. Even drilling, and definitely when you're cutting with like oxyacetylene and things like that. Using heat to bend metals, you kind of want to do the same thing. Let's see if I can push this pan up just a little bit. I don't like how that's sitting. It doesn't give me a lot of room for things like that. Now, welders, what they do is they have a couple special wrenches that they use beyond like doing automotive and stuff like that. One's called the spud wrench. The spud wrench actually just has a long spike on it, and it just allows you to line things up when you're actually putting things together. When I was 18, one of my first jobs with my uncle was I was working with him, and we were doing steel construction, and he was a welder. And so I learned a lot about spud wrenches and like cleaning welds and things like that. The only thing I didn't do was actually weld, which was crazy because I should have actually been welding and learned how to do that. For some reason, I feel like I didn't show enough initiative. pretty expensive, $20 a can. This is called weld-through paint. Basically, you spray it on. It's with copper in it, and so it allows you to spray and protect, but at the same time be able to weld through. So, like those underneath pieces where I'd never be able to climb underneath, they'd be exposed and rust through. This keeps that from happening. Here I'm just primering the exposed metals. All metals need to be retreated with a primer that has sealant in it. Not all primers have sealant in it. Most people assume they do. It's good to always check and make sure that you're buying the ones with the sealants. I had a Subaru Forester 2008 and it was pretty rusty. It came from the Rust Belt and it had a tremendous amount of rust to the point where the brake lines actually rotted out. And so I got rid of that eventually, but they did correct that problem for the most part in 1990, and the newer ones didn't have so much of that problem, but the Rust Belt still produced a ton of cars and just eats them away. It sucks, but it's a fact of life. Since then, Subaru started putting on a liner underneath. Now that's an option for some cars, and not all cars got it. My car actually didn't get it, and so when it came to repairs and replacing the clutch and stuff, it was a real problem. Okay, everyone. The cross track, the roll pan is done. This is the 5th time I've taken this video. My Faux Pro sucks. My welding sucks probably even more than the Faux Pro does. But it's all done. Everything's welded in. As you saw, I spent quite a bit of time working on it. I can see some spots. It's been a few days since I actually came out here and addressed this. I can see some spots that have a little bit of maybe rust or something that I'm going to have to address before I put the seam sealer in. So I'm going to put the seam sealer on top of this and make sure that nothing rusts out or anything like that. I don't live in an area that is prone to rust. And inside it looks good. Like I said, it's all about protecting the exposed areas, keeping everything from rusting. Seam sealer is going to go over the top of it, but we need to address it before we put the seam sealer on it, just to make sure. This roll pan's going nowhere. So once we seam seal it, then we can put the bumper back on. After I put the bumper back on, I can put the interior back in. And then once we get everything back together, including the seals and seams for the weatherproofing, we will move on to the front where the seat is. The front seat has been busted up. We'll move in here. I don't know that I've ever seen a seat done like this. It's just concaved in. And I know that you probably can't see it, but you see the passenger seat is good. This one, the whole headrest is pushed and leaned back. See how the grommets or the root show that? It's just pushed back. This whole thing is concaved and pushed in. So someone busted the back. And then this is exposed right here, the metal. I couldn't find seats with this cover on it, so I think that I'm going to take this cover off, stitch this piece back up right here, and put this seat cover on different seats. And the reason for that, the other one's just fine. It's just this one right here. So I just need one seat, and just put this cover on it. And I think that'll complete this car. Rather than sell the Subaru Legacy, I think I'm probably going to sell this after I get it licensed. I'm going to get it inspected and then licensed. But rather than sell the Subaru Legacy, which has like all the bells and whistles, and to be quite honest, is worth the same amount as the Crosstrek. The Legacy is a 2017. The Crosstrek is a 2013. The Crosstrek has 95,000 miles on it. Legacy has 191,000 miles. I want to sell it before it hits 200,000, but I want to sell this one first because it doesn't have all of the bells and whistles, including eyesight, that this one has. This one's got lane keep assist. It's got radar sensing cruise control. It's got front and rear crash damage. Yeah, it's got everything on it. The Crosstrek does not. And I have a 16-year-old daughter that's learning to drive, and honestly, I think that's just a better car for her. We will get something different, you know, once we sell this one. But I think that in the short term, it's best to get rid of this one. Although I don't have anything to actually haul things in the back right now, which this one fills that niche. So we're definitely gonna have to get something, an SUV that replaces this one. But I think I can get two for the price that I sell this for. Plus I have some working capital to actually rebuild. I think I have about 4,000 into this one, and I can sell it for about 8. So we'll see. And that's actually with a dirty title. I can sell it for 8, especially with 95,000 miles on it. Yes, that's the plan.